All right, we're live. Oh, there it is. I just got all notifications.
Yes. Baby. Oh man, I'm ready for this one. I'm excited.
This is a big game.
I'm really excited. I think
This is
this
a
could be a
massive
really
game,
good game.
in my opinion. You lost the first two, both in overtime, both good games. This Cleveland team is, in my opinion, the third best team in the conference. Not the most popular opinion, but that's just how I feel. Played well against the Celtics twice. That's what kind of respect you get from me. Right? You beat the Celtics a couple times, start respecting you. Unless you're the Knicks.
Mm-hmm.
Knicks, still not sold on the Knicks. Andrew was in the comments of our pod, Jack, and I know you saw.
I responded.
Yep, and he was feeling very good, as most Knicks
You
fans
should be.
did.
I mean, you are allowed to.
Yep, lot of talking from the Knicks fans, which is why I don't love them. But they don't know how to act. Haven't won a championship since the '70s. What are you gonna do?
Well, the way I said it was, the Knicks are a good team, and I said this, and you're my witness. I said this before the game. The Knicks are a good team, and I think the Celtics could go 1-1 with them in their next two games coming up.
You did say that.
Mm-hmm, I did, but they are not a threat in the East. That's what, Andrew's, running around in the comments saying, "Oh, these guys say the Knicks aren't a threat." They're not. The Knicks are not a threat in the Eastern Conference. They are a good team who can make life difficult for a first-round opponent, but that is their ceiling, in my opinion.
Are they fun, Jack? Would you describe them as fun? I think they're fun.
I like the Knicks. I love Jalen Brunson. I think he's been great for them this year.
If I was an NBA player and somebody called my team fun, that would be like the Jordan taking it personal. Like that would make me so angry.
That's fair. So, Patricia saying, Celtics are a good team too. Exactly.
I sure hope so.
Jimmy's hoping
sometimes I have my doubts. Poor Gorman's out there in an eye patch, and they're playing like me and the boys.
Exactly. Hello, everybody. Hello in the chat. If you haven't checked it out, I know a few of you had. We dropped a really cool podcast today. If you're on Twitter, Pete Rogers creates a custom Celtics jersey. After every win, we had Pete on the show along with Evan Valenti of Celtics Beat, and we ranked all the jerseys. We did a March Madness bracket for March. So go check it out if you haven't watched it yet. It was one of the more fun podcasts we've done. So check it out. It's on the channel right now. Leave it a like. We'd appreciate it. Go run up the likes on that podcast, actually, chat.
Run up the likes. Go look at it. After this, hang out first.
No, open up a second tab. Open up a second tab on your phone. Go to the podcast today. I'm going to look at the likes right now. Right now, the podcast with Pete Rogers and Evan Valenti is on 6 likes. I want to see at least 4 more. I want it to have 10 likes by the end of the podcast. Yeah, exactly. So go like the new podcast. We appreciate you. Yes. Go like it up. Dave Dunk is here. We're all good. We're ready to go. Phil is in the chat. Phil leaving a very nice comment
Phil was
on
pumped.
our podcast
He
today.
Thank
you, Phil. We appreciate it. Lewis saying, I feel like I haven't seen you guys in weeks. We've been
here.
You're
welcome.
Lewis.
We sent you the game.
Exactly. I think this is a compliment too. So showing some love.
Yeah, hair looks good today. A lot of product. Blow dryer change your life. I'll tell you that. Start blow drying.
Also,
looks good.
Oh shoot, I forgot to answer. Tim. Also on the podcast today, you can check out me describing my
That's your bonus at the beginning.
I'm trying to figure
Jack describes his step into greatness moment. His Game 7 Grant Williams game, playing with the fellas on Sunday. Unreal night from the man. Did not miss from 3 in the one game against my team. Now
Oh, I was dominant.
As soon as he was on my team, he started missing. But playing against me, you bet.
Sam says he started missing. I got one shot, and let's not act like yeah, sure, it didn't go in, but let's not act like I was bricking.
Ray is the worst culprit of that. There was a long stretch where Ray would be like that against me, and then he'd play with me and just throw it off the backboard.
Let's not act like I missed by a lot either. I almost made the shot. I just hit off the rim. I wonder what Tatum says.
Do you think Tatum's yeah, I almost made it?
I hate you. Fuck you. Let's see. If Tatum struggles and Jalen doesn't, this becomes Jalen team. JK. Jayson Tatum's just gonna slump, and it sucks. But I saw an interesting stat on Twitter. Actually, I don't know if you saw this. Who was it that tweeted it? I forget.
Asking a lot for Facebook to open up.
Someone said something along the lines of they tweeted their stats. Everyone talks about how Jayson Tatum has a hot second stretch of the year every season, but he struggles in February.
We're seeing the
his
opposite.
numbers,
Seeing the opposite.
no.
Calendars in reverse.
Wait for my point. No. Wrong. Let me get to my point. Let me motherfucker.
Go ahead.
The stat was talking about how we usually associate Tatum sort of picking it up in the second half of the year, but last year his stats in February significantly dropped. He shot 41% from the field, 32% from three. He shot significantly worse in February, but then in March his numbers skyrocketed. Right, he's shooting stupidly efficiently. He's scoring a ton of points. So second half of the season, Tatum is a real thing, but usually it comes around in March. Hello, Tim. Welcome in. So I'm expecting Tatum to start to pick it up now. The struggles happen. Every player struggles. It sucks when, a player of Tatum's caliber struggles because they directly affect the team's chance to win. But every player is going to go through rough patches. And I mean, he's not, Tatum's human. It's going to happen.
We're talking about Tatum struggling.
Not thrilled with Tatum lately. I got to tell you, not a lot of fun to watch him.
Yeah.
Looks a lot more like Marcus Morris, the black hole, the rich man's Marcus Morris, if you will. Jack.
I called him. That's what I called him. Yes, this was 2 years ago. Let's not act like it was yesterday. I called him that 2 years ago.
No, I'm not mad about it. I think it's fair. There are times where I feel like it's fair.
Well, so I think
it was true.
I think the issue that I have with it is that he definitely re-aggravated that wrist injury, right? He did it against Indy, and you saw how it affected him almost immediately in that game. So I don't want to chalk it up to that, but it was when he collided with Aaron Nesmith. Aaron Nesmith slid in trying to set a charge and ended up getting there late. Tatum falls into him and lands on his wrist and rolled it. So I think that's sort of what we've been seeing from him so far. It doesn't help when you don't have Brown there. What's going on, Dennis? So, I feel like not having Jaylen Brown sort of exacerbated the issues you're already having with Tatum. Teams are going to double team him, especially if there's no Jaylen Brown out there, and that sort of just bled into it all. So it sucks. I mean, I'm hoping we see him play better, obviously, but I also want to see him get some rest. We're on game number, out of the remaining games, this is number 20 right now. So they got 20 games left. After tonight, they'll have 19. So you want to see if they can try and fit in some rest. I know right now they're a half game back or technically tied or whatever. Half game now with the Bucks. And to be honest, I prioritize health over seeding 9 times out of 10. So I'm not overly concerned, but I do want to make sure that he's A-okay for the playoffs. I'm hoping part of me hopes it's not the wrist, but part of me thinks that it is. So that's sort of what my angle is on it.
I do think the whole rest thing all of a sudden is funny. Because now it's this big issue, and there's a lot of debate whether these guys should play games or not. And I do understand that you want your guys to be healthy for the playoffs. It's an excellent point, and it's fair. But it is just funny, forever guys just played all the games. Paul Pierce got stabbed a bunch of times and played every game, and then went to the conference finals.
JB Bickerstaff talked about this pregame. He was talking about how different it was back in the day. Not in a negative light, not saying oh, these players now suck. He was just saying it's a lot different. He was with sports science now, with teams wanting to keep their players healthy at all times, the league isn't going to go down from 82 games, and so it is what it is.
They shouldn't.
He said in the context of the Cavaliers, he's like we want our players to play every night, but we also understand that there are certain games where you might just have to rest guys, or the organization might want to rest guys, and it is what it is. And it's fine. I don't think the Celtics are the team to complain about when it comes to resting players.
Nope,
I feel they're particularly good. Obviously Al Horford is going to get his rest on the second nights of back-to-backs. He's old. Robert Williams is going to be resting on the first nights, and he's coming off of 2 major knee surgeries, so I can understand it. I think the big issue for most people is when it comes to a player like Kawhi Leonard, who is seemingly fine, but he's just resting. And I understand Kawhi Leonard has an injury history too, so you want to make sure he's okay. But people are going to be upset with it no matter what. And so I feel there's no real way to keep everybody happy until every single player in the league plays all 82 games. And at that point, I guarantee you would see an insane uptick in injuries. And so then people would be mad at that too. So I don't know. It is what it is. I like I said, I don't think the Celtics are big culprits of that.
Definitely
something I did. Jennifer saying, can you explain why our starters like Tatum really come out of the game when they're playing? I assume this means
I agree.
Rarely.
Sometimes I wonder when they come, why they come back in.
Oh, well, I almost thought that they didn't. So she's basically saying, like, why don't they pull them earlier? I think that part of that's just Joe. Like, I think Joe wants to leave them out there so it kind of sticks in their maw a little bit if they don't pull it off. And I tend to agree. Like, I feel like that Knicks game specifically, they could have pulled everybody a lot earlier. But it's one of those things where you sort of just have to take it for what it is. I think it's kind of it sucks because I think that was a game that they could have won if they changed up their offensive strategy. I have no problem with them shooting threes. I have no problem with them taking that many threes. I do have an issue with them not changing things up. And I know Sam is.
Well, I'm laughing because I know what Jack's going to say.
All right. Well, my thought process
I don't
was
feel
that
like
they need to
getting
get to
into
the
it
mid range into the paint. But what are you going to say?
Me or Sam?
Yeah, both of you.
Oh, me? I have no problem with it. I have no problem with the way.
Not
they
that
play. I have
what
no problem
Coach
with
said.
them. Oh yeah, Joe Mazzulla before the game today, came
Keep
to that by Celtics Wire, was asking him like,
Good question, by the way.
The stat. He explained the stats. He goes, you take the same amount of threes in wins as you do in losses, but the difference is in wins you make about 10 more threes than you do in losses. It's not like that extreme, but you make a lot more threes than you do in losses. And I mean, obviously. And he's like, is there anything you want to change or anything you look at to avoid that? And he goes, yeah, shoot more. Right? Joe Mazzulla goes, shoot more. Like when you're missing.
I mean,
like a lot of like
it's a lot like the
that's
meme.
Joe
Like
Mazzulla.
think about it, but
see, and I think a lot of the. How have I turned into the green team? Like,
no notes.
This is like
no
the
notes.
craziest
Everything's
thing.
perfect.
Yeah, right. I understand the like complaints like when the shooting is missing, or excuse me, when the shots aren't falling. But like you have to remember, like this offense works if you don't shoot like the worst performance you have the entire season. Like when the Celtics miss a lot of shots, I feel like a lot of people, because of like how Boston is and because everyone expects the most of the Celtics, like a lot of people treat it as the end of the world and this clearly isn't working. When like in reality, the way they've played has given them like half a game back and the best record in the NBA, right? Lewis, I love you, Lewis. I love you. I don't understand how it's crazy how like over the course of this season I have become the green teamer and Sam is the level-headed one.
Well, that's because I'm the one that I don't think the sky is falling, but I do like get pissed when they lose.
I think I'm like the moderator.
It's nuts. Something I did want to bring up, but this is completely changing the topic a little bit. I said this earlier in the season, and I got slewed for it. Everyone in the chat got mad at me. Sam disagreed with me. I think, Tim, you disagreed with me too. Hear me out. Derek White should be starting.
I don't know if I disagreed with that. If you've got the tape,
I don't know
somewhere.
if you did. I know the chat really did. No, I don't know if you did. I think Sam did. I know chat really hated me for it because they were so excited for Robert Williams, and Robert Williams has been fine, but I really think they benefit from having double guards rather than double bigs this season because of how dominant their offense can be.
I'm in the middle of putting something together for Celtics blog on this, but I tend to agree that they need to be going away from the double big. And it's not that the double big is ineffective or something like that. I think you don't move Jimmy J. You don't move Smart to the bench. You're moving either Rob or Al. And I think moving out of the bench would make sense, or Rob goes to the bench, and you just stagger the minutes there. I think it makes your center spot a little bit better. And this is also like you went out and you got Mike Muscala. Like I don't think anyone really thinks Mike Muscala is a true center. He's, if anything,
he's not an every night guy either.
Yeah, and that's fine. Like, well, clearly, I don't know if it's minutes, workload, or what, but I mean, he got like 3 straight DNPs, and then he pops up as questionable with right knee tendinopathy, so tendonitis. I'm hoping that we end up seeing them kind of mix that up, but Derek White's played so good. He's been so good this season. I just don't understand why you go away from that if it's working. And I love Rob too, but like I don't think Rob's 100%. So like, why force the issue now? Like I'd rather have them like trot out a bigger like lineup in the playoffs when they need to. And as for the 3-pointers, like I think they just need to, if they're not working, they need to find a way like that safety valve that they can turn to when things aren't going their way. Like they need to be able to change it up because God forbid they get into a playoff game where they're not able to hit threes and all of a sudden you are, knee deep up the river without a paddle. Because that's just gonna put you in a bad spot.
This
oh, I'm
dude
sorry.
was in our podcast comments Right now,
Yeah, it's
3
fine.
of our 5 podcast comments today.
It's the
were
Knicks,
Andrew
man.
talking
I'll tell you
about
what, the
Knicks.
tone
They
changed
haven't won
quite
a
a bit.
championship since Vietnam. Okay, so like
The tone was very
course he's
different
gonna
yesterday before the
celebrate.
game. It was very, very timid, very conservative. Now all of a sudden, a lot of things to say. A lot of things to say
really,
in the pod
really
chat.
talkative.
I'll tell you what, Randall, fakest player I've ever seen in my life. If you're relying on that guy to bring you victories, Brunson's fine. He's a good player. But Randall, he plays so I don't want to reckless is the wrong word, but he plays like in a way where you can't believe he's doing well. You know?
I know what you're saying.
And yesterday is on the Celtics. Not yesterday. Monday is on the Celtics. They played like
Absolutely.
terrible. You know?
The way I see it is like Andrew said something in the chat about like, you know, I want to find the exact comments. I don't put your because I if I like get it wrong, it's not gonna like make sense in the context. Give me a sec. It was like about the Knicks being quote unquote real or not, and effectively Andrew was like, you know, you guys aren't talking about the Knicks as a real contender or whatever. What do you say now? And I responded.
I say no.
Through the how about them Celtics. Yeah, I responded through the how about the Celtics. Yeah.
Lewis agrees.
Let's see. Hope you guys are feeling better today
look.
after the Knicks completely obliterated the legendary green team. Would love to hear more from Jack and Sam. The Knicks are not a real threat in the East. Please do tell me. And I responded. I said the Knicks are a good team, but they are not a threat in the East, and I stand by that. Like the Knicks are
Hart's
a good
pickup
basketball
for
team
them for sure.
Yeah,
The Knicks are,
and
Knicks are a good
obviously
basketball
Brunson,
team.
too.
Yeah, Brunson's phenomenal. Knicks are a good team, and going into this like little mini 2-game series the Celtics have against the Knicks because they play them again in a couple days. Like I said, I think there's a good chance the Celtics could split the series 1-1 with the Knicks because the Knicks play tough. But just because they're a good team does not mean they're a threat in the East. They are a first-round knockout. I think they will make life difficult for a first-round opponent. But I think they're a first-round playoff team. I think they're a top 5-6 team in the East. But I don't think they will beat the Cavs 6.
I love Hater Jack.
First round series. It's not even Hater Jack. It's just realistic
honest
Jack.
opinion.
It's
totally
No,
right.
I agree. I think Cleveland's really good, and that might be who they play in the first round with the seeding because Philly's kind of pulling away from them. And I think Cleveland's better than Philly.
I think
that.
Cleveland will wax. I think Cleveland will wax the Knicks, and that's not a like a statement on the Knicks. That's just a statement how much I respect Cleveland. Simple Jack.
Simple Jack.
I have a hater. I officially have a hater. What did I do to you, Lewis? What did I do to you?
It started with Luke.
Yeah, I
Because
guess
you were
so.
saying his name wrong.
Well, okay,
Is
no.
it Lewis or
I'm not.
Luis?
No. I'm not doing this. Right?
I
'Cause
want to make sure that it's pronounced correctly.
I did too, and I started as Luis,
That's
and then
fantastic.
Landon told me, or I started as Lewis.
Hmm.
Landon told me it is Luis, and then Lewis told me no, it's Lewis, and so I'm getting mixed signals, and so I went with Lewis because that's what Lewis told me to call him, and that's what I'll stand by. But all right, Landon, I'm gonna ban you. I'm gonna ban you.
Be nice.
I don't think
be
he's
nice.
like Felger.
That's
No.
mean. That is obscenities.
That's bait.
Absurd.
That's what
Felger
that
very
is.
successful. Don't get that offended.
It's Louise.
I mean,
see what I mean? Mixed signals. Mixed signals here. I don't know.
So
I
Jimmy
don't
J
know.
said something earlier that I'm gonna see if I can find it, but basically he was saying they should focus on rest because the first seed is put away. And I just want to go ahead and say
Put away.
that's crazy. You have not
What?
already locked. There
He's
are
saying they
20
already
games
lost it,
left.
Sam. Not they already locked it up.
20 games left, and they play Milwaukee again, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they have
And-
so far. Are they split on the season series or are they up still? 'Cause they
1-1.
won against them.
They're split.
They're 1-1 because
One on
right,
Chris
that
was
was-
lost with all the boys
right.
out there.
Yeah.
And let me also say, as great as the Bucks are playing, I have a heart. They're on a 15-game win streak. So let's not act like the Bucks slowly grinded their way to this and like the Celtics fell off. Like the Bucks are just like obscenely hot right now. Like the Bucks are like the
They're still
hottest team
good.
in the league by a mile, which is a good team and that's a good thing. But the Celtics' extreme hot streak came at the start of the season, and the Bucks is coming right now. And so
When would you
I
rather have
really
it, though?
think, why waste energy, Jimmy J? If
Why
the
waste
Celtics
energy?
win
Then
tonight-
just don't play.
yeah,
You're going to make
what
the
are we
playoffs.
doing
Just
here?
sit everybody.
What are we doing? Like, do the Bucks play tonight? Hold on, let me check.
No, I don't think so.
They
If the
play
Celtics win
or
tonight and the Bucks
tomorrow
lose
in
tomorrow,
Bucks.
like if the Celtics win tonight and the Bucks lose tomorrow, the Celtics are the first seed again. Like this
Would be
fight
nice if the
literally
Bucks
can be
lost.
decided in one game.
All I'm
It's kinda
saying is
overdue.
like I have Orlando as the trap game this week. Like that screams trap. Like, oh, nice big win streak going
For the
against the
Bucks,
Orlando Magic. Like, what could possibly go wrong? And it's like the Magic, man. Like the Magic are gonna come in there and like kick you in the teeth.
Well, Paul used all his threes against the Celtics. Now he can't make threes anymore. He only made
don't
$1
believe
million
that.
in the 3 games
Oh,
against Boston.
Paolo.
That's funny.
But
Let's see.
yeah, I'm not gonna fold against the Bucks. You need to.
I'm just putting
play
the
for that first
apology on the
seed.
screen because I deserve it.
Yeah, it's true. He is
excuse me.
gross.
Also, our friend Adam has been talking a lot about. Oh, I'll let you do this first, Sam. Go ahead. You already put it.
False started me. Damn it.
Hey, you false started
Pregame
me.
pick presented by Smash the Odds at Smash Odds on Twitter. Pick of the night is Marcus Smart over 10.5 points. Said he likes the matchup today. You got the smaller Garland there. Could see some post-ups. Who doesn't love a Smart post-up? I certainly love it. For me, Malcolm, over 18.5 points, rebounds, and assists total. Think that's somewhat of a low number. Think Malcolm's been okay lately, and he'll probably get some run tonight, especially if Tatum's hurt, like Tim hypothesizes. Not the most outrageous thing, but we'll see.
All right, so you know my usuals. Derek White Holmes over 1.5
Hmm.
over whatever it is, threes. I think those are good. I think Derek White points is always good. However, Tim, before you got in here, I was talking about a stat that I found on Twitter. It was something along the lines of Tatum usually struggles a bit in February, at the end of February, then he brings it back in March. It is March
What day is
1st.
it?
It is March 1st. Jayson Tatum over 27.5 points. That is what I'm going with. I think we see a Tatum break out of the slump heater tonight. I'm really feeling it.
Yeah, and I think that's fair too.
Jack, your levels are impressive. You
They're actually
beat
pretty
the
good.
PA announcement on that one.
I raised my voice a little bit.
beat the PA allegations.
Jack just started screaming. Like everybody in
else.
media row is just like
It's
looking
just-
at Jack, and they're like,
Jesus.
"What the hell's wrong with this guy?"
Maybe a little bit. Something else I wanted to bring up. I've seen a lot on Twitter. Our friend Adam Taylor was talking about it. Grant Williams is getting an obscene amount of hate. And I understand he's struggling, right? Like he's not
I am pro
playing as
Grant
well as
hate,
he.
by the way, but continue. Yeah, I'm getting sick of this guy.
I understand he's like having like a little rough stretch, and he's not doing as much, and he's not getting as many shots as usual. But like people saying like Muscala is better than him. People saying he's not a good.
Yeah, I
defender.
saw that.
People
Yeah.
like the levels are absurd right now.
I don't
Grant
agree with all
Williams-
those takes, but I just don't think he's been good. He's not playing up to standard.
Well, he also is. His whole role has been all over the place, and we
Yeah, I
talked
also
about
think
it.
his role's significantly lower.
That was all we were talking about that in Vitamin C's. That's where that clip was from, and we were talking about it. And I was like, I don't know, like what's going on with Grant. He needs to get back to early season Grant, but I also like don't blame him. Like even like before the All-Star break, like his shot attempts were way down. I feel like it's a confidence thing because he's not taking a lot of threes. He'll get the ball out there. I mean, the Bucks game was a perfect example of it, where he has the ball and it's like, okay, like you're one of the better 3-point shooters on the team. Like just shoot it, dude. And then he just blows the whole situation away.
I think
like
he's
it was.
he's almost in his own head.
I think it's the
he's-
money.
I
I
agree
think.
with that.
I also think he thought he was going to get traded at the deadline because of that.
He
contract
looks very
situation.
uncertain to me.
Yeah,
There's
he needs to get back to it because like he had a couple games in there where he looked good, and then it's just his minutes have been weird. He had like 6 minutes against the Pacers, like 16 against the Knicks, and then like barely any about over there.
I like this
Yeah,
comment.
I mean, I think that's fair, Landon. The fans here are very passionate. There's a lot of passionate fans, and it's really condensed on Twitter, and everyone has a really loud opinion, and that's all it is, And I think that's okay. Like, if everyone agreed in sports, then you wouldn't have any kind of debates, you wouldn't have any back and forth, and like I think that would make everything a whole lot less interesting. But like, let's be nice, let's be polite, and not blaspheme and say ridiculous things.
What did you guys think of Brogdon? Not Brogdon, Marcus. I thought he was one of the only guys that looked like he was trying. To be honest with you,
I thought he looked good. I thought he looked decent.
giving you
It was hard for me to
anything.
notice. It was hard for me to notice anything in that game other than the shots. But I think Marcus was fine.
Yeah, it put a damper on things, I would say. I think it's a fair statement. Some of the foul calls, obviously, but you can't make it about the refs.
Phil touched on this earlier in the
I
chat.
think
He
so.
asked
I
about
would assume.
today
It's getting close.
being March 1st,
Yeah.
and
The March
I don't
1st
think
thing
he
I will
understands
say,
the rule. So clarify it.
March 1st is just the deadline for a buyout player. Like players on other teams like under contract this year needed to be waived by today in order to be playoff eligible. But like using like I'll just say Carmelo Anthony because he's not like played this season. Like the Celtics could sign Carmelo Anthony at any point throughout the regular season and he could still play in the playoffs. It's just like a guy like Will Barton. I know he's going to the Raptors, but like a guy like Will Barton had to be waived today in order for them to be playoff eligible. So
I believe the Spurs did that with T-Mac like 10 years ago. Like they just said, all right, come play with us in the playoffs.
It's fire. I love it. Also, Dennis, you can message us on Twitter about this if you wanted. I didn't want to just skip over it. Like,
did you use the code to go to the game? It's a big question, and I'll know if you're lying. HBTC SeatGeek, save $20. Sure.
Hello, Judah. Hello. Welcome in. Brunson should have been an all-star over Jay. All right. Well,
Brunson's been great, but like let's slow your roll.
You had me in the first half there.
You win one game, dude. I'm telling you, like two games. You win. Crazy. The tone from 2 days ago at this time to now is unbelievably different.
If you had cut
I like
that,
how much it bothers you, though. It is funny.
Because they're all like this. They're all like this. You had that fat guy saying bing bong last year after opening night. I mean, come on. They're all like this.
Look at the numbers this season. Yes, Jaylen Brown is putting up better numbers. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, and you had me in the first half. If you had ended the stat after Jalen Brunson should have been an all-star, I was going to agree with you. But when you said over JB,
the question is who does he sub in over, and that's where it really gets difficult. It's not
DeRozan.
Yeah. That's
DeMar DeRozan or Julius Randle. Yeah,
that guy's the biggest fraud I've ever seen.
Yeah. I can't believe they put him back in there again after the last time. It's like, yeah, he had one season, and then he immediately became a problem after he got that contract.
I think he's playing really good this season. I think Jalen Brunson's addition to the team has allowed Julius Randle to play a little bit more freely and not have to worry about like creating for others. But saying Jalen Brunson shouldn't have been an all-star over Jaylen Brown is just you're just looking to get a rise out of us, which is respect. Fair enough. Thank you.
I like Brunson. He's the most legit player on the team. Randle is he just doesn't play the way like a top player plays, if that makes sense. Do you guys see that? Like, do you see that, Jack? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, it feels like the way Randle plays, he has like a lot of recklessness and he gets away with it, or he did on Monday. At least he got away with a lot of it.
If the All-Star game only accounted for the 2 months, then sure, you can argue he should have been an All-Star over whatever. But like, it didn't. There were 3 months before that, and Jalen Brunson was good in those 3 months. But like, I agree with you. I think he should have been an all-star. He was on my list, but not over Jaylen Brown. Pick a different person. Lewis saying he's a traveled man. Lewis using the HBTC code. Absolute legend.
Be like Lewis. Lewis got a great game.
He did.
I've only said it like 10 times since Saturday.
Which game did he end up going to?
Philly.
Oh, yeah, that is a good game.
Tatum, yes.
We helped him.
Randle has scored one less point than 2020. Yes, and Randle is playing very, very good, like and Tatum is playing like the worst stretch of his season.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
You win one game over the Celtics and you acting like this. I agree with you.
I'm telling you, they're all like this.
I love you,
Andrew. They won on opening night last year, and they hung a banner. That sealed it for me.
I've said it on the pod. I think the Knicks are probably the 5th best team in the East. But let's stop acting like they're going to make this miracle run, because they're just not. I can't do it, man. I don't know.
Just came out of the tunnel as he doesn't come out with any of the other team, which is always strange to me. Don't know why.
Randle had the most rebounds in the NBA in January. Raise the banner. Throw it up there. Most rebounds in the NBA in January 2023. Banner for Julius Randle. And Sam knows this. I am the most I don't like the championship or bust talk, right? Like, I don't love. Yep. I just got here and we should have ate that handful. Yeah, Jared, I agree. But I am the biggest, like, you don't have to win championships to be considered a good player. Like, you don't have to even make the playoffs to be a good player, right? Because a lot of it is situation.
I don't know about that second part, but go on.
A lot of it is situation. LaMelo Ball is a good player. The Hornets are a trash organization, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I can separate team success and player success. Like, I mean, the biggest one we've debated a million times is Zach LaVine. Sam thinks Zach LaVine stinks. I know he's an all-star caliber player. But Julius Randle, I think, is having a really good season. I think he deserved to be an all-star. He's having that good of a season. I think Jalen Brunson deserves a little bit more because of his impact. But, like, let's stop acting like it's Jayson Tatum. Let's not do it. Let's not go that far.
I like the part where Sam was like, you were like, yeah, like LaMelo Ball, and he was like, yeah, he's fine. He's
He
like,
is
yeah,
fine.
he's okay.
He's young. He gets like a little pass. And there is truth to that. The Charlotte's giving him nothing.
Yeah, well, Charlotte's also been giving nobody anything for a long time. The true stats. I know it hurts.
Lewis saying we will
man.
lose to Brooklyn. Remember this pose?
Hopefully not.
That'd be something.
That would kind of suck, wouldn't it?
I'd be mad as hell. Your Saturday
they hate
pod or
that
Sunday pod,
franchise.
whenever it would come out, would be fantastic.
I think they hate the Nets.
Random question: what are the chances Grant will take a picture with me pregame if I make a sign asking? You could try.
I think there's
That's
a
the
decent
best
chance.
chance. You're shooting low.
Stand by the tunnel. Shooting low.
Like, you think you'd shoot a little higher?
Hey, no, I mean, if you like Grant,
He probably
there's
would
a
do
really
it.
good
He seems
chance.
nice.
He'll probably say
If you get
yes.
down
That's
there
what
and
I'm
get by the
saying. He's
tunnel with
super
the
nice.
sign big enough, he might say yes.
Yeah.
Brown most likely All NBA. Brunson never.
I hope
Nekias
so.
Duncan.
I don't know
Rich
about
basketball news.
never.
He has a chance.
What-
My
what
point
Nekias
is,
say?
Nekias did his like award predictions this year. Jaylen Brown not on an All NBA team. Not on an All NBA team. I thought it was interesting.
Doesn't matter to me.
I thought it'd be more of an issue if he missed more games, but he didn't miss that many games with that facial fracture. Like, I thought
Actually,
he was going to miss
yeah,
more. He only missed like 4 or 5 games for it.
Doesn't him not making an All-NBA team kind of screw the Celtics?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, so I do care. Yeah, I care.
Yeah.
How did he screw the Celtics? Explain
You're
it
like, I
again.
don't care. I'm like,
Wait,
yeah,
explain.
because like if he makes the All-NBA team, they can give more money.
yeah,
Which
well,
would
they can
entice
give
him
him
to
the
stick
Supermax, which means that it's
Why
like,
can't I hear you guys anymore? What is happening?
what? Your headphones are dying.
But anyways, Jaylen, if he makes All-NBA, Celtics can pay him more money, give him the Supermax, convince him to stay, if they even need to do that. Everything we've heard over this past season has sounded good. Like he doesn't want to leave after next year or the year after.
Yeah.
I don't know which one it is. It's sometimes somewhat soon.
Very soon.
But definitely don't want him to leave. They don't need him now. That would be fun, but they don't need him anymore. They brought in Muscala. They have Cornette. I love a local guy on the team.
I'm a sucker for that, and I also think that it just helps them out long term in case there is any more concerns with Rob. I think you have a completely different big in Mike Muscala, and if you want to go and use Mike Muscala at like the 4, you can slide Grant over to the 3 if you're trying to do a bigger lineup. If Tatum's not on the floor, I think it's worth kicking the tires on. If not that, then you need to go out and get someone who is athletic and fast that can just run out and transition. Like, I think that'll help. You're still muted, buddy. Can you hear us though?
I can. My phone kept like taking over my Bluetooth. I'm good though.
Oh,
yes, but I think like a Tony Snell just getting a wing instead is probably what I would prefer over Noel. I don't like Tragic. The Celtics don't need another guard. I think Valentine and Snell are probably the most likely ones in my opinion.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyways, anything else you guys want to say before we get out of here? We can wrap up here in about 5 minutes.
No, I really got nothing. I'm gonna try and enjoy this game after the last one.
Check out Vitamin C's like Julie
I'll
says.
say.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
First of all, that. Then you want to see us talk about jerseys with Pete Rogers, 2 of them back there. Pete Rogers, awesome. Evan Valenti, awesome. Hung out with us after that miserable game on Monday. For an hour. And it kind of ruled. It's not the traditional pod. We give you a little chatter beforehand, and then we get into all the fun stuff. And throughout the month, we are planning on doing more fun bracket stuff. So if you have ideas for that, tell us, and we'll try and incorporate them.
Yes. Go leave a like on the pod. We appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening. I think Sam and I are going to do a stream tomorrow at 6:15. So if you're here,
6:30,
you
we'll
enjoy
be
listening.
Here.
Yes, we'll be live on this channel tomorrow, 6:15. I don't think we're putting it up as a pod. We're debating that. So
maybe.
Just keep an eye out. We'll be here.
Perhaps a bracket tomorrow.
Maybe. We could do a live bracket. We'll think of some stuff. Thank you,
Phil. It won't be the big one. Big one we're going to say.
No. Yes. Thank you guys for tuning in. Check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at How About Them C's. Check us out on Facebook, How About Them Celtics Podcast, and check out Heavy on Celtics on Facebook as well. Subscribe to the channel, How About Them Celtics. Leave us a rating on Spotify and Apple. Check out the new episode today, like Sam said. Thank you guys for tuning in. We are here 30 minutes before every single Celtics game, which means for another pregame show, we will see you Friday. But like I said, live stream tomorrow at 6:15. Come check that out as well. All right, I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.
Cheers.